Okay, so what are you saying, people, and welcome back to your favorite YouTube channel. So today, guys, another trade breakdown video for you. Actually, two trades which I took on pound USD. We'll go through all the analysis of why I got into these trades, the stop losses, the management, take profits, all the good stuff we'll be talking about in this video. If you are liking the content on the channel, please be sure to subscribe and drop a like if you haven't done already, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But anyway, so we're going to analyze both these trades. We'll start with the old replay tool so you can't see what's gone on the right, and then we'll speak about entering and managing the trades. But as you can see, they'll both sell. So I had a sell buys for pound USD. Overall, it's quite neutral. The market was quite bullish here. We did break through some structure to the downside, taking out some of these lows, but the market was quite corrective, so I never really got involved in any of this price action into the downside. Then we broke through some structure, went bullish a little bit, potentially continuing the higher time frame kind of move we had here. Wasn't really getting involved, and then we had price come into a very crucial area because it came back to these prior 4H daily weekly highs here at 1.24. So I was watching pound USD, expecting potentially a break to the upside, the trend to continue. However, we failed. We formed a massive rejection off these highs, really strong impulse to the downside after we broke out of this consolidation. Since then, we've seen some really nice momentum, and then I was waiting to see what the market would do next, because although yes, we have formed this double top. Again, double tops are really good patterns to trade, but make sure you do trade them with confidence, and make sure you do wait for the whole pattern to form. A lot of people get quite excited and try to anticipate the double top patterns and look to short at the highs. You want to wait for the neckline to snap, which is these lows here, or at least wait for a bearish trend to start forming from the highs, and then you can look to getting on the pullbacks, which is pretty much what I did for both of these trades. So we had this really nice momentum to the downside, so I was waiting to see what happened next, because we could still potentially push up again. Double tops only kind of are confirmed once we take out the prior low, which is all the way down there. We potentially could start bullish trend again and start pushing back up again, potentially form a bit of a wedge with these higher lows and kind of just give this kind of pattern there. So I was kind of just waiting to see what pound USD does next. And then we had this another impulse to the downside, breaking through these lows. So at that point, we've got a bit of a bearish trend here, at least the start of one anyway. We've got our high up there, which is the consolidation, impulse one, correction, which is like a bear flag, 1, 2, then we had another impulse snapping through the lows. So at this point here, we've got some bearish structure, which is what I'm looking for, and I'm expecting price to make our way back down to this neckline of the double top, which is that price swing low. Since if you were going to go bullish, I'll expect some momentum to sustain after this big push. However, we formed a massive wick there to the upside and the market melted back down, telling me that, okay, buys are failing, we've taken out some lows, most likely we're going to pull back and continue lower to go and test those lows. So that's where the whole kind of thesis, the analysis, the direction, the bias comes from for the trade. Now, the important bit is just looking for the entries. Now, originally I wasn't really too much of a fan of pound USD shorts. There were other dollar pairs that looked better at the time. But yeah, pound USD developed and actually gave me some good entries. I remember on the stream I was talking how I didn't really like pound USD with the potential entries. I had a bearish bias and I was expecting price to get here, but unless I see a good entry, I'm not really looking to get into the trade. However, I actually got a good entry. Market pushed the upside quite impulsively, coming to test some areas on the low times here on the hourly. You can see that lovely wick support there. If I go to the hourly, you can see some really nice support here, and the market broke through, and now the market's coming back into that level, taking some of these lower highs out, these minor highs out, grabbing liquidity above all these highs here. Really nice impulse. Again, sometimes when you see big impulses, sometimes it can be a bit of a fake move, especially when they give a big impulse into a level and there's no continuation from that. If you see an impulse in the market, you want to see a correction and the continuation. If you just see an impulse and the market starts to consolidate and actually starts to break back down again, then sometimes those impulses are just kind of fake moves, getting people excited that the market's going higher, and then it just completely turns on a dime, which is kind of what happened here with pound USD. It took its time to get going, but ever since the market started firing some wicks here to the upside in the 4H, I knew that momentum was not going to be sustained. And then I actually got my entry on the hourly. Again, just utilizing the lower time frames. 4H is where I spend most of my time mapping out structure, looking at confluences, where I want to trade, my targets and whatnot. But hourly is where I find my entries. Sometimes I do take on the 4H if sometimes the level is not too specific, so I want to use a bigger stop loss or maybe a bigger candle for more momentum, I will use the 4H, but mostly it's on the hourly. So I took my entry off this hourly candle here, stop loss above the high, get a few pips. If the market starts breaking above here, it's probably because I'm wrong. I want to get out of the trade completely and then reanalyze the pair. So stop loss, no brain, just a few pips above the high, entry there. And then target for this one, I was utilizing this price and low. This was the low, this was the low before that low, so that was my original TP1. And then TP2, which is the end goal of the trade, like I said, back into that neckline for the bigger double top pattern. So very, very simple, looking for push to the downside. And again, we can press play and we go to the hourly time frame. So we press play, you can see the market was messing around for a bit. It was quite corrective, which was not really a good sign. And it was a sign that, normally if you see corrective structure like this, you do expect the market to impulse the other way. So sitting in the trade, not really trying to do anything. I'm not really too aggressive for my management. Once I take the trade, it's either a stop loss or a TP1 or a TP2, or how many TPs I've got. So I don't really try to get too aggressive, trying to exit trades because price action isn't looking good. Sometimes if it's a very, very big sign, yes, I will do that. But it's very, very rare that I do that. And you can see price was consolidating, then it started to pick up some momentum, hit my first target there. So that's when I secured some profit and go break even. And that's when, it went break even and just let the market do its thing. It started to react with this slow down here. So I was keeping an eye on this level and the market actually impulsed very, very strongly to the upside. So at this point, it was about to take me out of the trade for break even. So yeah, that candle there took me out of the trade. So this trade was over. It was a small win. Coming into this level here is where I took my partials and went to break even. But again, the bias was still to the downside. The bias was still to the downside, still looking for the market to come lower. And again, we still have that end goal price to come test these lows. However, if the market is to break through this resistance here, this high here, this will tell me that, okay, we've actually got a bullish reversal because again, the double bottom's coming back in, snap through that neckline, and I actually expect pound USD to go a lot higher. So if we broke through 1.213, that's when I'll completely back away, become a bit more neutral, probably just watch pound USD, see how it develops, and maybe actually look for some buys in the opposite direction, back into the highs up here. So I was monitoring this level 1.213 to see how we're going to react. And we can see we had a really nice rejection. And if I go to the hourly time frame, big rejection there. So again, it's pretty much just a copy and paste of that previous trade. Looking for the sells there. I did have a little bit more confidence. We had a trend line starting to come into play here with these lower highs. So 1 with that impulse, 2 with that impulse. Now I'm looking for a third one. So there was a bit more confidence on the second trade here. And the second trade had a much better risk reward. You can see here 2.76 into that level. Here was about 1 to 5 into that level. So the risk reward kind of just almost doubled just because I got a better entry on the hourly time frame. But anyways, it's pretty much the same trade. I'm selling off the same level, just bringing it across there. And if that level holds, I expect the market to come down and just expect my buys to play out. If I'm wrong, like I said, if it snaps through this level, that's where I think, okay, we might be getting a bullish reversal here, double bottom, break the neckline, impulse correction, more upside. So that's the plan, and therefore stop loss just above the high, nothing too complicated, same as the other one, pretty much almost the same stop loss. And then again, I had my first TP around here. Again, trying to be not too aggressive with the first take profit. Again, I could have it at the same level as at the previous trade, but there you can see it's already 1 to 3. I want to make sure I'm taking my profits a little bit earlier than that. Around a 1.15 is a good place to take profit for me. 1.5R. You can see it was around a 1.4, so that was good. That was good for me. So that's why I took my first take profit. So that's why I took some partials, went to break even. So now there's no risk on the table, letting the price do its thing. And then my second target was this low here, since that's where we had the double bottom. You can see 1 and 2. So this is where I want to be securing profits next, because potentially you could do a triple bottom and start going against me. And then obviously end goal, which is a push back down to these lows into that neckline area. So again, if I go back to the hourly time frame and press play, you can see price was moving quite well. It did almost come back and take me out break even. Again, no panic though, just let the price do its thing. If it did come and take me out break even, so be it, we'll call it a day, move on to the next trade. However, luckily for me, price had actually dumped to the downside and go and hit my second target. So I took some more partials off, Didn't move my stop loss or trade it or anything. I just keep my stop loss where it is, and then let the price do its thing with my end goal here. Price had a quite big reaction, I believe, off that level. Yes, it did. And then it started to consolidate. So here, I wasn't actually too sure what price will do next. It was kind of just in the middle of a range because, again, price has rejected this level 3 times, rejected that level twice. At this point, we kind of just had a ranging market here for pound USD, and I'm not really a big fan of ranging markets, so I was just going to let price do its thing. Again, my stop loss is where it is, so there's no risk on the table. I've already secured partials a couple of times, so the worst that will happen is that I finish this with a small win, just like I did with that prior trade. Best case scenario, we dump to the downside and come back into these lows. And then we had some news come into play. Dollar was very, very strong at the time. And yeah, price absolutely melted and hit the target level. So that's where I exit the trade completely. And yeah, and moving on to potentially some more setups of pound USD, which is, we just had NFP today, big move to the upside. After NFP, price is now back into potential areas where pound USD could actually look to roll over again. So coming into Monday, so next week, and again, you could be watching this video maybe a year into the future. Yeah, I'm looking at shorts. Yeah, if it is a year into the future, tell me if this trade plays out. But yeah, we'll be looking at some shorts here for pound USD. It's coming back into the same trend line. We've come back into this resistance here as well. And as long as we maintain this bearish structure, because we do have this descending channel here, I'm looking for pound USD just to maintain that and eventually actually have a big reversal. So I'm looking at this bigger double top structure. I'm looking at us potentially coming all the way back down to some of these areas, 1.16, 1.15. So that's kind of my forecast for the future for pound USD. So as long as price maintains resistance and hold these levels and not break out this descending channel, I'm still looking at sells. So I'm not looking to enter any trades now. It's too late for me. I'm done for the week, but coming into next week, if price can still throw some wicks here to the upside and still hold this level on Monday and give me a good entry candle, I will be looking for some trades like so. Stop loss probably above that wick there. Again, looking for another move back into these lows here, and I may look to push it further. Like I said, 1.16 into this high could be something that I think about as well for some shorts. If pound USD continues with this bullish momentum off of NFP and actually breaks out the structure, like I said, I'll back away, become neutral, and just observe what price does next with pound USD, because I could be looking to buy it back up to the highs there if we get some decent bullish structure that we can follow. But right now, still bearish bias. We'll look to see if we can hop in, so maybe there could be another video coming out soon of a third trade of pound USD if I can get a good entry for this one, and if we still hold that level by Monday next week. But yeah, those are the breakdown of both trades. Again, very, very simple, but accurate analysis. No need to be too crazy with it. Just understand the market structure, understand the areas to enter, because again, you could be looking at some shorts here, but if you enter down here, you should take unnecessary stop losses to make sure you're entering at the right places where you've got a safe stop loss. My stop loss up here was pretty safe, because I know if price is going to take this out here, it's most likely it's going to reverse anyway. So you want to place your stop losses in areas which kind of invalidate your idea. So if you find yourself looking to trade an idea, say you have a bullish or a bearish bias for a particular pair, try and enter that trade, enter that kind of bias, and have a stop loss where it actually invalidates your bias. And I find that actually helps your trading a lot, and it helps your win rate, and also just improves the accuracy of your trading. Because say, for example, if you've got bullish structure like so, and you're expecting the market to continue higher, and this is the low that invalidates your bias for the market to continue higher, then if you enter a trade, say around here, there we go. So you enter a trade around here, stop loss just below, and the market does something like this, just to go higher anyway, then you just take an unnecessary stop loss. Not saying that it was a bad trade. Maybe you've back tested and some trades like that work for you. But if your stop loss is underneath here, you know that, okay, the worst thing that happens is price takes my stop loss, but again, my idea is gone anyway. So now I can just reanalyze and go again. So yeah, try and have your stop loss in areas which invalidates your idea. It helps you, it makes you a bit more, a bit more patient as well. Because sometimes you just miss out this trade. You're like, okay, I'm not going to take this trade. I'm going to wait for price to come nearer to that better area. Therefore, you can place a stop loss like this underneath the low and take advantage of the buy. And that's exactly what happened here. waiting for the best areas, stop loss in safe places, taking advantage of that trade, and that's what we're planning to do again. So yeah guys, hopefully this video has provided you some useful information. I'll be doing a lot more of these breakdown videos throughout the year. I'll do some more losses and some more break-even trades as well for you guys, just to get the kind of full picture. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Have a great weekend. I will be live again next week. I'm always live. I'll be posting some analysis on the weekend as well, so make sure you look out for that. But thanks so much for watching the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.